I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the great.
You have potential. Don't waste it. If you clicked on this video to be distracted, if you clicked on this video to be entertained, okay, you clicked on the wrong video. If you want that, go and watch another Roblox YouTube video or something like that, okay? But if you clicked on this video to actually learn something, to improve your life and to improve your skills, then keep watching and watch it with your undivided attention. I want you to really focus on what I'm saying and to focus on the ideas that I am conveying, okay? And if you're watching this, you probably know that you're meant for more. You know that, you have like the normal people that like to get easily distracted and all of that, but you are probably a little bit different, and you probably want to reach or get a little bit closer to your potential, to the highest version of yourself, okay? And so if you think that's you, just stick around and watch the rest of this video. Okay, so first off, what is a leader? What is the definition of a leader? Because if we don't know what that is, if we don't know what the definition of a leader is, how are we going to know what a good leader is? Okay, so a leader is anyone who rules, guides, or inspires others. Okay. A leader is anyone who is able to do one of these three things or all of these three things: rules, guides, and inspires other people. Okay. That's what leadership is. It's actually pretty simple. Now, what are the key traits of a leader? The first thing is going to be taking initiative. Okay. Now, when I say taking initiative, what do I mean by that? Okay, for example, if no action is taken for a group, right? If no action is taken, where does the group go? Where does the person go? They go literally nowhere. So if there's no one to start that action, if there's no leader to start that action, then nothing will happen. They'll just kind of stand there. The people will just stand there. That group will just stand there. So a leader is a person that's in that group that says, let's do this, let's do that. They're the person that's taking initiative. They're causing the first action to happen. And then that sets the other actions up, okay? So a leader takes initiative. Okay, and an initiative just means that they start the actions. So we can put starts action. Okay, that's the first thing that leaders do. For example, Elon Musk, right? Tesla, CEO of Tesla, or not CEO, owner of Tesla, right? He took initiative in the electric car market, the entire market, because no one else was building on the scale that he is affordable electric cars that normal people can buy. And so he decided to take initiative in that market and to kind of lead that market. He decided to take action in that market and to build that market up. And now we have a bunch of other brands selling electric cars, but he is the leader. So he took initiative in that market. Okay, he wasn't waiting for someone else to start in that market. He did it on his own. Okay, and he did the same thing with SpaceX, right? There wasn't many other private companies that had successful like space programs, right? But Elon Musk took the action required, and now he owns one of the biggest private companies for space exploration. Okay, so leaders, what do? Take initiative. That is one of the key traits of leadership. Okay, so after we take initiative as leaders, after we start the initial action, okay, what is another important element of basic leadership, right? Which is ruling, guiding, and inspiring other people. What is another element? The other most important element of this, of leadership in general, okay? And that is going to be having a vision and having a mission, okay? Because if you don't have a vision and you have a mission, then you're just going to be leading in aimlessly, okay? You're just going to be, you won't even know where you're going. So you can't effectively lead if you don't have a vision and a mission and you have a place where you want to get to. Okay, think about this. If you were like in a forest and you were with or not even a forest, if you wanted to get from point A to point B, right? And someone was leading you and they're just kind of taking you in circles, right? That's not leading you there. That's just going in circles, okay? So a leader wants to go from point A to point B, and he wants to bring a group of people that also want to go there. And he's going to help guide them all to get to that point, okay? So the second thing is vision and mission. Having a vision and having a mission, okay? And so the other day I was watching this speech by Nick Saban, which is a famous football coach for for Alabama, the football team, the college football team, Alabama, right? I'm sure you probably know about him, especially if you live in the U.S. But Nick Saban, I listened to like an hour speech of his. He was doing a leadership speech, and he was talking about how when he has his vision and his mission and his goals for his team, they're not just orientated around winning. The goal isn't really to win. The goal is more to do the actions, to do the grind, to do the things that make them win. So their goal isn't based around winning, but it's based around doing the things that get them to win. And so he was very focused on the process and on the grind and making sure everyone works towards the mission, right? So make sure that your vision and your mission, it's not about the win, but it's about the process that gets you the wins, right? So we'll put a bullet point here and put it as the actions that make you win. Okay? Those are the ones we want to focus on. The actions that get us to the goal. Okay, so we have the goal and we want to focus on the actions that get us there. Okay? Okay, so in order to be a leader, just a normal leader, you only need really these two things. Okay? You need the initiative, right? And that's starting action. And then you need the vision and the mission. And that is a place to go. So you have the action and you have a place to go. And a leader technically only needs those two things. Does that mean he's going to be a good leader? No. Does that mean anyone's going to follow him? No. So, what are the traits of a good leader? What are the traits of a good leader? The first thing is gonna be knowing their team. Knowing their team. Okay, what do I mean by that? Have you ever had a boss, right, who didn't even know your name? A boss who would tell you, do this, do that, and all this other stuff. He didn't even get to know you. He doesn't know your name or anything like that. I'm sure you've probably worked for someone like this, right? So you could see why, if he wasn't your boss, if he wasn't your manager, why you probably wouldn't listen to him. Okay, but the only reason you were listening to him was because he was in a position of authority, right? And so, knowing your team is one of the most important aspects of being a good leader. Knowing who you're working with, knowing their strengths, knowing their weaknesses, and then being able to leverage those strengths and weaknesses, right? So the more you know your team, the more cohesive it's going to be, right? It's going to have, the impact it's going to make on you and your team reaching their goals is going to be huge, okay? You're going to have a deeper understanding of your team. You're going to have a team that is more loyal, more respectful, and they're going to learn and listen to you a lot more than if you didn't get to know them. Okay, and then the morale is going to be higher within the organization. The satisfaction among the team and the group or whatever it is going to be higher, and then the environment is going to be more supportive. Okay, so good leader, the first thing they do is they know what they're working with and they know what their team is, right? And this is going to be helping with loyalty. This is going to be helping with morale. And those two things create increased productivity. Okay. So knowing your team is going to create a more cohesive team. It's going to increase loyalty, morale, and those two things create increased productivity. And that's just a few of the benefits of knowing your team. Okay, so we know a good leader knows their team. They know what they're working with, and they know how to get more loyalty, morale, and increased productivity from their team because they know their team. Okay. Now, the next thing good leaders do is they serve their team. They serve the team, okay? A good leader isn't in it for themselves. They're not in it for personal gain as much as they are for the collective gain of the group, okay? They're not in it for themselves. They want the best for their team. And they might even make their own sacrifices for the team, because the most important thing for the leader is getting the entire team from one place to another, getting them to those goals, okay, and the processes that allow them to reach those goals, okay? So, for example, Marcus Aurelius, right? he's an emperor. He was an emperor back in the Roman times. I think it was around like 300 AD. Okay. And mind you, he's an emperor and he put his people first. Okay. He led with humility. He was the leader of, not the leader, but he had firm beliefs in the Stoic philosophy, right? So if you know Marcus Aurelius, you know all the things he did. He was an emperor, and he always put his people and the common good of his people first. And as a Roman emperor, you definitely didn't have to do that. You could get away with pretty much anything as a Roman emperor, but he decided that he was going to live by the Stoic principles, and he wanted to build trust within his country, within his team. And he was known as one of the last good Roman empires of those times, or Roman emperors of those times. So a good leader will always know his team and serve his team. Okay, this creates stronger bonds. Okay, it's also going to increase effort and trust. Trust is very important. Increased trust is extremely important, okay? And then these cause better overall results. Okay, so a good leader knows his team. Okay, this breeds loyalty. It increases morale and it increases productivity. Okay, a good leader also serves his team. Okay, not only does he know his team, he knows how to serve them and what is best for his team. What's best for the individuals on his team. And he might even find that there's some individuals that are better off not in his team, in some other team led by some other group. And a good leader will always acknowledge this and accept the fact that he might have to let that person go. Okay. So he knows what serves the team, or he serves the team, and this creates stronger bonds, increased effort and trust, and better overall results. Okay. So a good leader knows their team and serves his team. Okay, so a good leader, he knows their team and he serves the team. What else does a good leader do? A good leader acts as a force multiplier. What do I mean by that? If you have a group of people, right, that can produce this much, right? So, for example, let's say you have a group of 5 people, right? And they can produce 5 units of work, right? That's how much they can produce on their own, each individually, right? Now, what a leader does is he acts as a force multiplier. What does that mean? It means that throughout knowing the team, increased product, with more loyalty, more higher morale, increased productivity, with stronger bonds within the team, increased effort and trust, and better overall results, and being able to find the strengths and weaknesses of each unit of his team, find what they do best in, and find what each individual does their best in, what they're best at. A good leader will know his strengths and weaknesses of the team, and he's able to multiply the strength. Okay, so if this is just 5 people, right, and they create 5 units of work, okay, a good leader, he's able to leverage all of the strength. He's able to get an efficient team to work together to increase the productivity. So a good leader acts as a force multiplier. So you have 5 people plus a good leader, right? So we'll put 1 good leader here. Okay, and it's like a force multiplier. 5 people and then 1 good leader can create multiple times the output. Okay, so a good leader with that same group can multiply the output and the productivity of the group in and of itself. So, a good leader knows their team, he serves the team, but he also acts as a force multiplier. He's able to multiply the effectiveness of the group, the effectiveness of the productivity, and the effectiveness of and speed they reach their goals, because he's able to bring the team together and to synergize with the team in a way that increases the output a lot. Okay. So this is going to be, it's going to create a few different things, right? It's going to enhance performance. Okay. The team is going to be more cohesive. And it's going to increase productivity. Okay, and how do you act as a force multiplier as a leader? As I said, you have to look at the strengths and weaknesses of your team. You have to put them in the spots that they do the best in. But you also have to know the team and serve the team in order to get the benefits of a force multiplier, or force. The benefits of a force multiplier, okay? So if you want to increase that productivity, you have to do these things, and then you have to be able to bring the team together and leverage all of the strengths in order to multiply the performance. What is something else a great leader should do? What is something that's not on here yet that a leader has that can completely change the outcome of his team, the outcome of the situation, no matter what? So, one of the most important things a leader can have is being able to bring the group through any adversity, anything. Okay? Whether the times are good, whether the times are bad, whether the times are horrible and it looks like failure is inevitable. Okay? A leader needs to be able to step up through any times of adversity. And he has to remember that hard times create strong men. Remember that, bro. Hard times create strong men. Okay? And so a good leader is aware of this, and he knows that even if there is failure, even if it looks hopeless, the situation looks hopeless, a good leader is aware that this is actually a good thing for him and his team, because it's going to create a stronger bond, and it's going to create a stronger bond, but it's also going to give them an opportunity to be better. It's going to give them an opportunity to push through the adversity and to learn, because failure leads to learning. It leads, anytime that we look at failure, there's always something we can learn from it. Anytime that failure happens, there's always something that we can learn, some mistake that we've made that we can learn from. And so a good leader knows this. He's aware of this. He knows that failure leads eventually to success. And so he has to be able to bring that group through any adversity, no matter what it is. Okay? So we're going to put down here 4. Can lead through adversity. Even when the rest of his group is hopeless, a leader needs to be able to lead through these times and also give the group hope. Give the group resilience. He has to be able to uplift the entire group and to make them believe that no matter how bleak the situation is, they can still recover and succeed, okay? And so a good leader can always lead through adversity, okay? And this is going to create greater resilience and adaptability. Okay? A culture of perseverance. And a stronger team. Okay. So pushing through the adversity is going to lead to greater resilience, perseverance, and a stronger team. And likewise, greater resilience and perseverance as a leader is what's going to give you a stronger team. And that's what's going to lead you through adversity. And so a leader must be able to lead through adversity. Okay. So if we summarize all of this, right? A leader is anyone who rules, guides, and inspires other people. Okay. The leader always has to be the one that takes initiative, which means he starts the action. And he also has to know where he's going. He has to have a vision and a mission, and the actions that he's focused on, the actions that make him win. Not the goal in and of itself, but the actions that get us to the goal, to the mission. Okay. A good leader knows their team, okay, and it creates more loyalty, productivity, or more loyalty, more morale, and increased productivity. Okay, a good leader serves that team, which creates stronger bonds, increased effort and trust, and better overall results for the team. A good leader acts as a force multiplier. Okay, he's able to take the team and multiply its effectiveness with his leadership. Okay, and this enhances performance, increases cohesion, and increases productivity. And then a leader needs to be able to lead through anything, no matter what. And this creates greater resilience, greater perseverance for the group, and a stronger team overall. Okay? So these are all the traits of a good leader. And there's, a million more that I could list. But the most important traits of a strong leader are all written here. Okay? And the most important traits of a leader are here. Okay. Now, one thing I want to mention is that an authority figure is not a leader. Okay. Leadership is about action, vision, knowing how to serve your team, and pushing through adversity. It's about all these things here. Okay. Without these traits, and if you've been given a position of authority over other people, if you don't have these traits, if you don't know your team, you don't serve the team, you don't act as a force multiplier, and you can't lead them through adversity, you're just another person who's in charge of other people. But it doesn't mean that you're actually a leader. It just means that you're in charge. It means that they do what you say because of fear, because they're afraid if they don't, they're going to lose their job or lose their position or whatever. Okay? In order to be a good leader, you need to have these traits. In order to be a leader, you have to have these traits. So these are all traits that leaders need and good leaders need. Okay? If you don't have these traits, you're not a leader. if you don't have at least some of these traits, you're not going to be a good leader or a leader, okay? So these are the traits that we need to develop, that we need to work on consistently in order to become good leaders, because if we don't have these traits, then we're not going to be cultivating the maximum effectiveness of that team, of that group. We're not going to be as capable of reaching our mission and our goals. Okay? So start developing these traits. Start developing these traits. And you know what to do. You know what to do. If you want to know your team better, start to know your family better. Start to know your friends better. If you want to serve the team better, start to serve your family better first. Start to serve your friends better first. If you want to act as a force multiplier, the next time you're in a group setting, see just how much more you can produce with that group, with that team as the leader. Okay? And then being able to lead through adversity, through tough times, being able to lead your family, being able to lead your friends, being able to give advice, being able to listen through those tough times. These are all things we can work on just from living life and experiencing life, just from being with people. These are all things we can work on. And if we work on these in our private lives, in our own lives, then they're going to start to seep into our professional lives, right? So if we're working on the right things and cultivating the right things within our own lives, they're going to transition to our business lives, to our work lives, okay? And being able to do that is very important. So that was just my full guide on leadership and what it takes to really be a leader. My name's Justin, and remember, you deserve the consequences of your actions.